Hey guys, Spirit of the Law here. I know there seems to be a ton of AoE4 videos this week, but there was an interesting interview with Adam and Emma from the AoE4 team on Thursday. They gave a few exclusive reveals that may be of interest for fans of the franchise, so let's check out the highlights. First of all, they gave a bit of info about civilizations and campaigns, including the final 2 civs that will be included in the game.
We're going to name our remaining launch civs and our remaining launch campaigns. We're not going to show them just yet. That'll come closer to launch, but our 2 remaining civilizations are the Holy Roman Empire and the Rus. And the names of our 2 remaining campaigns are the Rise of Moscow and the Mongol Empire.
That gives us all 8 civilizations on release, though I think it's pretty clear they'll add more through DLC in the future. Personally, I'm not worried about a lack of civilizations in the long run. Age of Empires 3 actually had 8 civilizations on release as well, and at this point has 17. Age of Kings, on the other hand, had 13 civs on release, and I'm all for lots of civilizations and content, but obviously AoE4 is going in a more asymmetric civ route, and having a core set of properly balanced civilizations is probably for the best, with room to add on more later as players get a handle on the first ones. They also talked a bit about the Abbasids and French, which were announced earlier this week.
So the Abbasid dynasty is this amazing technological powerhouse of a civilization that has a really unique mechanic that we're bringing to them in Age of Empires 4. It's actually unique across all the civs that are in the game, in that they construct this bastion of knowledge called the House of Wisdom, and they can keep upgrading it with different wings, and that gives them a host of incredible technologies that leverage their army, their economy, their resources. But beyond even that, they have an incredible amount of fun units, especially camels. Unique to the civs again, the launch civs for Age of Empires 4 is camel units. And these camels have amazing abilities to buff the other units in their armies. And so you have these wonderful diverse mixes where you always want to be throwing different units together, but always including camels for the different kinds of buffs and advantages you can give to your civilization. It's great.
I really like what Adam says about mixing in different units, and the idea of camels scaring nearby horses so they do less damage to all units around them makes some intuitive sense. Encouraging mixed armies with lots of bonuses is good in my opinion, as historically it was typical to have a mix of units in an army, and the stacking of multiple bonuses from different types of units is one way to do that. It's okay to have one dominant unit as a civilization's backbone, but mechanics like this encourage diversification, which also seems in line with their big emphasis on historical accuracy where possible. We also get a bit more information about the French as well and see some cavalry charges that to my eyes look a lot better than they did a couple of months ago.
And the French are really, really strong with trade. They've got some great options that are going to make your late game really, really interesting. They have a landmark called the House of Commerce. And for your units, you're going to really want to focus on knights and lancers. Those are your powerhouses. But the French actually made an appearance in the trailer as part of the 100 Years' War campaign. And as you can see, Joan there, I'm actually wearing her around my neck. She's a feminist icon from history. This young woman who led with her convictions and led a battle, and she was a teenager. And so she's beloved. She's in Age 2 in a campaign, and so we know Age fans are going to love seeing her again. And the 100 Years' War, with the multiple missions, like the Battle of the 30, are really going to bring that period of history to life. And all the live action footage that you saw in the trailer on Sunday, that's all from within the game. Wow. We have these multiple documentaries that will play between the missions to storytell and really bring it to life as you journey through the 100 Years' War.
Another feature they emphasized is naval battles, which of course have been a staple in Age games in the past.
If you look at a lot of the data, we see data on all of the Age of Empires games that people play, and naval is one of those things that in Age 2, a lot of people don't use it, which is crazy, right? But if it wasn't there, people would miss it so much. And sometimes we have to ask those hard questions when we're making games, right? We say, like, do we need to do this? And it was something that we felt weird about. And we went to the council with it, and we're like, hey, not even you guys don't play naval all the time. Like, do we need it? And they're like, yeah, no, we see your point, but you have to have this. Yeah. And it was great. It was a great reaffirmation. And we throw a lot of things like that at our council to make sure that we're making the game that's great for all the different kinds of players that love Age of Empires all over the world.
They mentioned listening to feedback, and that seems to be ongoing, with Arrowgate being specifically addressed.
We're branching out beyond our council. People are going to get hands-on for the first time. So we had a fan preview event back in April, and we looked at the feedback from that and have made changes since then. So, you let us know that you didn't feel like the weapon scaling was quite right. So we've gone ahead and we've improved that.
Now, besides the information they came out and told us, from the screenshots, we can also pick out a bit of new information. There may have been a glimpse of this before, but looking at the Abbasids, we see some spearmen are selected and seem to have siege as an option, suggesting siege is actually built by units. We also get a quick look at the Abbasids House of Wisdom and a technology costing 50 food and 125 gold that reduces the cost of creating villagers by 50%. That's a pretty crazy technology, and there's another more expensive one we see that improves villagers' gathering rate from farms by 15%. Another tech gives shields to camel riders, improving their armor, and finally another one suggests conversions will always require a relic without this specific technology. We've seen a relic used for mass conversion already, and in contrast, the ability to individually convert units seems to be locked behind an Imperial Age tech, at least for Abbasids. We also get a look at the influence system around the House of Wisdom that they mentioned in the civs description on the official website. In another shot, we get a specific example of a hero's ability. This one, called Attack Speed, increases the attack of nearby units for 15 seconds, and you can see it has a fairly large area of effect by the yellow circle. Jumping back to the naval battle, we see that ships have some indicators showing the direction and range they attack. Unfortunately, the ships seem to be able to turn basically on a dime, whereas I think this mechanic could actually make the positioning and orientation of ships really important. In other media, the orientation of ships is often a lot of the strategy, and it would be cool to punish a careless player for running headlong into another ship's broadside. You lose that element of strategy and positioning if units can just turn immediately. They also reiterated what we already know about Dawn of the Dukes DLC for AoE2 coming in August, with Bohemians and Poles, with that being free if you pre-order Age of Empires 4. For H3 fans, they also gave a quick teaser of something coming down the line.
For H3, of course, because we don't want to leave them out either.
No.
H3 Definitive Edition, we're hard at work on an African PDLC with new civilizations and campaigns,
cool. Yeah.
and I can't wait to show more, but we're not ready to talk about that one just yet.
If you haven't already and want to get in on the beta early, you can sign up to be an insider at ageofempires.com, though there's no word of when exactly the beta is going to be available. Hopefully we start hearing about that pretty soon, as the game comes out in just over 4 months. So that's a rundown of the new info, and it was a pretty quick interview, but had lots of interesting tidbits for people following AoE4 news. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.